What is going on, SoFi fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you, is SoFi a 25x company or is it just going to bust? I'm going to break it down for you and all that fun jazz, but before I do, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. And with that, let's get right to it. Live tickers going at the very bottom of the screen, currently down 3.8%, 60 million for volume, so definitely a very, very high volume day. 23.7 million shares being purchased by institutions on the secondary market. So I think today is a little bit more of an abnormal day. You do get a lot of big institutions getting in, both on the secondary market and also the dark pool. So that's something you just need to factor in. As you can see, even first thing this morning, there was a ton of big money getting in, 7.8 million, 3.9 million. And one very interesting one though is $46.4 million in one transaction. So clearly a lot of big money is getting in. But beside the point though, there was an article that was coming out, or did come out, I should say, right here, saying that it is going to be a 25x company in 10 years. And it talks on all the opportunities out in the market right now, but none is better than SoFi. So I think a lot of us do know that SoFi is going to do a lot of good things in the future because historically, stock market goes up. We're in a little bit more of a bear market right now, but historically, stocks go up, especially those in the financial sector, and even more so if the interest rates continue to increase, which is very advantageous to SoFi. So I think you do get that very big advantage and alluring factor when it comes down to SoFi, but a lot of people want to know, is it going to survive? Because if there is a very, very big recession on what they're predicting, similar to what 2008 or possibly even worse, then SoFi and a lot of other growth stocks that haven't really established themselves yet might be at risk for potentially just dwindling into nothing. And even more so, as you can see at the live ticker at the very bottom, we are getting close to that $5 range. And of course, once we get close to that $5 range, what are people going to be talking about? A reverse stock split. So in reality, if we do get below that $5 range for 10 consecutive days, then unfortunately SoFi is going to enact that reverse stock split to save basically a lot of the institutional ownership and so forth. So that's my own 2 cents. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. Of course, there is a lot of risk when it comes down to SoFi and just the broader market right now, even more so this week with GDP and also PCE numbers coming out on both Thursday and Friday. Definitely going to be a lot of volatility this week, but I really like this article because it does give it and puts it in perspective on why you need to dime in hand. Even Anthony Noda has been saying that the market has been acting very irrational, and it has been for a very, very long time, ever since SoFi got its charter news, which in among itself, even if you take out all of the other catalysts that came forward, just that alone is a very big deal. And a lot of people seem to forget higher interest rates means more money for SoFi, especially with its high quality customers. This article even does talk on that exact same thing. So once again, I'm begging the question, is SoFi going to be a 25x company? Is it going to survive a possible recession, or is it just going to dwindle out? And unfortunately, even looking at the chart, it's just going to obviously have a reverse stock split, which historically is a little bit more negative. Of course, there's abnormal ones that tend to work out, but overall a reverse stock split is always seen as a little bit more of a negative sign. So let me know your thoughts on that. Most likely if they do a reverse stock split, it'll be a 10-to-1 ratio, and then typically 9 times out of 10 historically, based on research and everything I've seen, it goes down 15% post reverse stock split. So again, that's just a little bit more of fun facts. Like I always say, this is only for entertainment purposes, so make sure you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. I just like listing a lot of facts and all of that fun jazz. But looking at their latest balance sheet, they have $756.05 million in cash equivalents and short-term investments, $486 million in long-term investments, $3.91 billion in debt. So at the end of the day, a lot of people want to know, is SoFi going to survive? Because as you can see right here, they're currently burning $3.39 billion from operations. So just looking based on just rough estimate, they need to dilute. This is why they did do a shelf offering, and this is unfortunately why SoFi is going down as much as they are, is because their debt, like I've already said from the get-go, when they were starting to talk about raising interest rates basically in January or December, a lot of stocks were going down. Anything that had substantial amount of debt that unfortunately would suffer because of higher interest rates. So SoFi gets grouped into that. At the end of the day, yes, we can do a reverse reverse stock split, but most likely there's going to be a dilution of some sort in possibly 2023 unless things turn around. Of course, we've had home run earnings. I'm not here to spread any FUD because their earnings are phenomenal. I've been actually buying this dip quite a lot, actually, probably too much so, but still, regardless from all that, I believe in SoFi. I know it's going to do a lot of good things, so I'm leaning a little bit more towards the 25x that they can actually accomplish that. But I think in the short term, the overall pain isn't necessarily there. But I'm a very long-term investor. I think generally speaking, my portfolio is majority banks. So SoFi fits perfectly into that whole component, and they do have a very good growth aspect to that. So hands down, I agree with this article that this is a very good advantageous time to add SoFi to your portfolios or average down. Of course, it might not necessarily be the bottom, especially if there is a full-blown recession as what they're all predicting and all that fun jazz. But if they are wrong, then you are going to have made the best decision of your life by buying SoFi. Of course, I haven't technically talked on a lot of the different operational aspects or anything like that. Just generally speaking, just based on the sector alone, SoFi is going to do a lot of good things. Of course, I always like to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So there is an ugly aspect to SoFi, and it is plain and simple this: their debt. And like I always say, SoFi is a very disruptive company. Just they're trying to do it in one of the oldest sectors, so it's not going to come overnight. You need to practice patience, especially investing in SoFi. So hands down, if there is a very, very big recession, I think the likelihood of a bankruptcy or close to that with SoFi is out the window. It's not going to go bust, but that's my own 2 cents on that and my own interpretation. But I think the likelihood of a 25x far exceeds the likelihood of a bust. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But like I already said, the sentiment is all-time lows for SoFi. So I think generally speaking, the retail presence in SoFi has been getting out quite a lot. Even more so looking on the actual chart, you can tell Stochastic is very, very oversold at 8. Which is typically abnormal. You do get a nice value rally typically at those stages, but it's not necessarily being sought out. RSI is also at 34, and looking at momentum, you can see it's actually been fairly flat. So a number of retail investors are buying SoFi at these levels. But again, if there's a reverse stock split, that's a little bit more of a negative image, and more so as well with shorts. Shorts are doubling down with SoFi, which unfortunately is a little bit more of a negative. So net, it does look like they are increasing 1 million shares, give or take, just shy of that. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi in the comments below. I did do a very good video on SoFi last time on why you guys are loving SoFi. And again, if you guys take that, look back at that, look at the comments on why SoFi is going to be a 25x company. So let me know generally on your thoughts on SoFi. If you've been buying, selling, holding, whatever it might be, let me know. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe, is always greatly appreciated. If you do like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.